Remember the end of the world, October 21st, 2021, or 2011? Nothing actually took place. Third time's a charm. October 21st, May 21st, September 7th. Harold Camping guarantees it. So Harold Camping he guarantees it. Third time is the charm. The two main things that happen with me on Harold Camping's world is one of them. It happened back on 10/21/19. So this was yesterday. Today's 21st of October, 2019. So that was yesterday. October 20th. I'm pointing at the Home Depot hat. The day before Harold Camping's World. And then shortly thereafter in Dallas, Texas.
Damage to some Garland neighborhoods as well. This is near Shiloh Road, north of LBJ Freeway. There are trees down, many homes with roof damage. Garland police say they have no reports of any serious injuries, however. And a tornado, pretty clearly. I don't think we need to say may have.
A tornado may have hit. It's October 21st, 2019. That is 8 years later. 8 full years later. Save the date.
Hit Northeast Dallas last night.
We've seen the video, yeah. Brandon Todd is live in the Lake Highlands neighborhood where a Home Depot store was badly damaged. Brandon?
Next day. Now, it's not the next day. It happened that same night, but I got the shout out at Robbins Lane, Shiloh at Robbins Lane, because I pointed to my Home Depot hat, and the Home Depot was destroyed. And I was talking about a terrorist attack happening in Texas. I just thought it would be during the Eagles and Dallas Cowboys game, which it was, at the stadium. Instead, the stadium.
To some Garland neighborhoods as well. This is near Shiloh Road, north of LBJ Freeway. There are trees down, many homes with roof damage. Garland police say they have no reports of any serious injuries.
It was a similarity of what a stadium looked like if it was hit by bombs.
Yeah, good morning, guys. The damage here in this area is evident before you ever get to this Home Depot. You can see this entire section here around Forest and Central is dark. Everywhere I look, it's dark. Power is off to everything here. Lots of businesses sustained a lot of damage, but of course, behind me, you can see one of the most evident ones here, the Home Depot.
It's just the fact that Home Depot is on my mind. Obviously, I don't actually have to say anything. I'm just telling you what I'm saying. It's like, look, this is what's on my mind. Home Depot. It's coming up. A day before it happened, I'm telling you a day beforehand, it's coming up. Today's October 19th, 2023, 8:54 p.m. Considering what happened with me personally on this date, I'm going to go back and show you why Harold Camping's world, why it's important to me. Because Harold Camping taught me a lot back in 2008, 9, 10, and 11. And he was just warning that the Spirit of Christ, he didn't say a person's coming. He said the Spirit of Christ is going to arrive, and that's going to be the beginning of Judgment Day. And that was May 21st, 2011. Here's when I started. Well, wait a minute, before this. Before the Revelation 12 sign, I started on April 2nd, 2017. And it just so happened that on 10/7, when Israel had the bombs dropped on them, I don't know if I have that window up here or not. Yeah. So they had the bombs dropped on them on October 7th. 10/7, here's what happened. Boom. Apparently they knew what was coming because they have a tripod set up over here. But don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Just pay attention to the explosion that they must have all been anticipating, because everything, they all have their phones out immediately within 9 seconds. Oh wait, they have it. He has his phone set up right here already, and so does he. And him. And him. I don't know if bombs were being dropped constantly, so they just have it out ready. That could be the case. But that's amazing how the building dropped so fast. Remember in 9/11? Where did it get hit at? The top? Hold on. I can't really tell, but it kind of looks like the building dropped before the explosion took place. All right, there's the explosion over there. Yeah, whatever. Hit perfectly in the right spot and dropped it. But that happened on 10/7. And the same thing that I remember before I even started the YouTube platform, I started to type this page out right here at 10/7. It's 10/7, 2016. Exactly 7 years later, Israel was hit with that bomb that I just showed you. And in the Bible, somewhere it says when Israel is getting taken over, it's going to be like a storm that comes at them. I remember when it was Matthew, the storm Matthew, and it was happening on 10/7. So I have it out, I have it written here in red. And what that reads is, as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's like at hand. It's at hand. You can have like 7 stars in your right hand just at the click of a mouse. But what I'm saying, before I even started the YouTube platform, I'm speaking the words of God before the foundations of the YouTube platform that I was going to take over after 7 years. But I didn't know that. I'm telling you, check your change, Matthew 24:24. That's Jesus. I had no idea that that was even what anybody on YouTube was talking about, because I didn't even join YouTube yet. Everything written in these 6 pages is before YouTube, 6 months beforehand. So it's 10:7. I realized the similarity. But what I'm saying is Matthew 24:24, there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show many great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. They would deceive the very elect. Or at the end of the world, things shall be. And I'm asking, is this just a coincidence? Because I spent so much time preparing this information, trying to get it typed out and sent out. And as I'm in the middle of typing this 3rd page on 10/7/2016, I realized the similarity about Matthew 10:7, because Hurricane Matthew was coming in back on October 7th, 2016.
Brief periods of heavy downpours and wind gusts as people begin to assess the damage here. Take a look. This is pretty much what we're seeing all along this part of the Florida coast. Plenty of...
Self, 7, 7th angel, about the sound. 7 years later, 7 years later, the bombs were dropped on Israel. You know what I'm saying. Daytona Beach, Florida.
Flooding, damaged buildings, countless trees and power lines down. The focus now shifts to the north, where Matthew could unleash even more terror.
It was one of the biggest ones. You know how big my mouth is now on Christ? Imagine how big it was when I didn't believe in Jesus.
And then March 2nd, 2018, from October 7th, November, December, 4, 1, 12, about 16 months later, I came across Matthew Daly. Came across him. I wrote that letter 7 years later. This is what happened in Israel after Gaza crumbles. The buildings. All right, so I didn't even see anything hit that building whatsoever. I didn't even see a fire. I just see it falling down. Ready? So there's the implosion at the bottom. There's some firecrackers set off. Oh, there's the fire after the fire. It's not before the fire, it's after the fire. Did anybody ever think that they're just destroying everything now? Controlled demolition. Everybody that lives there is part of it. It's a part of the land that you can only live there if you know the people. And at some point you're going to destroy it if it's even real. Because who knows? I could be in a Truman Show and this whole world is just, the media is sent out there as if it's all real. But they know I'll never go over there. And everybody here is controlled by them to lie to me anyway. So it could just be all imagery to see how I perceive it. It all looks like CGI to me the way it is anyway. But if it isn't, then all they're doing is just they're destroying the buildings in dramatic fashion because they're getting ready to build a paradise because heaven's coming down to earth, but they got to destroy it first, just like Philadelphia. So that's how I see things in a positive manner, no matter how people take it. 848 Liberty 2 is one of the Twin Towers. And considering I went in, or I met up with Tornado Kleck on the year before, Harold Camping's World. And then the next year, I went down to Harold Camping's World because Jonathan Kleck, he needed to show me something. And what he showed me...
Well, the water's going to recede.
At that exact moment, because that's on the back of a $50 bill. See that? The water completely stopped and stood still at exactly 8:48 a.m. So the water stopped, it stood still at 8:48 a.m. exactly 1 year later from the time that I pointed at the Home Depot hat saying Tornado Kleck is coming. And then the tornado destroyed the Home Depot in Dallas, Texas, when the Eagles were playing the Dallas, Texas. And 3 days beforehand, I'm saying, if you want to win $1 million, pick the Dallas, because the Eagles are going to get destroyed by Dallas. And also there's a high terror watch for that very night on October 20th, 2019, when they were playing at the stadium. But when you see my name on the news, you've seen it the very next day, purposely on Harold Camping's World, October 21st, 2020, where they gave me a nice little shout out on the news itself, saying that it's Shiloh at Robin Lane.
Roof damage. Garland police say they have no reports of any serious injuries, however. And
October 21st, 2019, in the title, and it's a Home Depot. Moments beforehand, the day before, here's the day after, just to make it as clear and solid as possible. Interpret it how you want. It's coming. I get a sense of these things right before it happens. So this is leading us up to October 21st, 2023. Third time's a charm. 10/19, 2023. 2 more days from now. What I'm saying back then, 3 years ago, 4 I'm sorry, this is 4 years ago. I'm saying in the description that October 21st, 2019, God's wrath is going to continue to destroy Philadelphia. It's coming up. And New York. But New York in gematria equals the Jezebel spirit, I think it is, being destroyed. And Washington, the White House. Lightning struck the Washington White House. Do you remember that one? Because I was saying this back on October 21st, 2019. Not in great detail, kind of like Nostradamus, but God's wrath is going to continue to destroy Philadelphia. Is coming up, and New York and Washington, the White House.
All right, now to some incredibly scary video of a deadly
August
lightning
5th,
strike just
2022.
outside of the White House last night, and it happened to be caught on camera. Take a look at this. Now, this is just obviously outside of the White House, outside of the White House.
No, it was just an image.
And there you saw it. And
Or if it's not just an image, it's controlled by those of you that the god of lightning can strike it down, along with the sound of the Bose speakers that are hanging out upstairs.
it was unfortunately an elderly couple who was there visiting. The couple was from Wisconsin. 2 others were seriously hurt in that strike. It struck a tree in Lafayette Square, which, if you're familiar with D.C., is literally just outside of the White House.
Is that a black flag hanging out there? Like Paul Begley was showing you earlier? I don't know. So that happened. I'm talking about it coming up. Philadelphia is coming up. But Philadelphia is the last portion of it, because that's where the peace arrangement comes in from. But first, Tornado Clec started with Dallas, and he's going to end with Philly, because the Eagles are playing the Dallas Cowboys, and the Cowboys destroyed the Eagles that day. And it was on Harold Camping's World. And then fast forwarding to the next year, Barack Obama, he shows up at the Lincoln Financial Field on that same day, Harold Camping's World. At the Lincoln Financial Field, there he is right there. So I was thinking Obama showed up at the link on October 21st, 2020 to officially endorse Joe. So he was there. I made the video 4 days later. And considering that when Barack Obama when he read "Be Still, Know That I Am God," what he read at that time was
God
Psalms 46.
Is our refuge. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two.
Right now you can see that it's 8:48 a.m.
He burns the chariot in fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations.
So there's the 8:48. I'm there, 8:48. Same date that he showed up at the link on this day here and said,
Every single day.
to Mr. Philadelphia.
For months now.
Every clip is from the Lincoln Financial Field on October 21st, 2020.
I want to thank Mr. Philadelphia He's... Listen, my first job was in a Baskin-Robbins. We see him operating every single day. We see him in neighborhoods. And by the way, while he's doing all that, it distracts all of us from the truly destructive actions that his appointees are doing all across the government, actions that affect your lives. I want to thank Mr. Philadelphia Schraubtees, what our last name is.
That's my last name. I mean, it all happened at the same. He made it really easy for me to just listen to a half hour and take the words that Jonathan Kleck knew that I would take to piece together what he actually said. And that's truly what he actually said. And I know it sounds ridiculous to say that the United States president, ex-president, would have a direct message to me, because that day that I went down to thinking a bomb is going to go off, but instead Obama showed up. The water stood still at 8:48 a.m., and that was the same exact time that he literally said, "Be still, know that I am God," at 8:48 a.m. And not only that, but when the reason why I even went down that day on 10/21 is because Jonathan Kleck showed me that very morning before I even went down there.
Or what's evil is good and what's good is evil, because it's basically the same. So let's get rid of both. Let's get rid of the good and evil, and then let's just stick with being nice.
And by the way, while he's doing all that, it distracts all of us from the truly destructive actions that his appointees...
I mean, I am sitting over here in the video that I took the clips from. Basically, dot your I's and then go up and connect your T's and go to Access Road.
That's convenient. Probably 1 in a trillion again. And now just keep watching.
This says October 20th, 2020. That's the day before October 21st, 2020 at 8:48 a.m. where the water stood still, the streams of the rivers of water that were flowing, and they make the city of God glad. That's Barack Obama's whole spiel. That's his entire...
Its waters roar and be troubled. Will the mountains shake with its swelling? There's a river. The streams shall make glad the city of God.
Pause it. Look right here. 8:48. This.
They were roaring on Harold Camping's World, which is coming up in 2 days, October 21st, 2020. That's directly across the street from, right there, Chase Bank. Chase Bank is on the back of a $50 bill that has a full map. It looks like the United States of America. You got Florida down there at the bottom, but it looks like Philly is up in smoke. And considering it's a 5, 50, and 5 bill, that would remind me of the time, like 5:55 in the morning, that something like that would happen in Philly. So the streams that make glad the city of God. 8:48 a.m. The waters are standing still on the same exact day that Barack Obama showed up at Lincoln Financial Field and gave Robin's Hood tees what our last name is. You see him operating every single day. And his appointees is distracting all of us from all of our real destructive behavior. All of that happening at the same day on a day that the whole entire reason why I even went down to Harold Camping's World is because Jonathan Click was talking about that same video of Barack Obama the night before I went down there.
Once waters roar, there'll be trouble. When the mountains shake,
October 20th. There's a stream that makes glad the city of God. So that's October 20th, 2020.
There's a river. The stream shall make glad the city of God.
Pause it. Look right here. 8:48.
And he even says, pause it, look right here. And that's exactly what he did. I went down there, is paused it, look right here, 8:48. Because right before that, the streams are roaring. 22:17, 23:05. It went from roaring to be still. Why did that happen? Jonathan Click was saying in the very beginning.
The short video clip was made today, October 20th, 2020, after the Lord told me to drive to Camping World this morning because he had something to show me. Camping.
Harold Camping.
This came the day after.
And then the tie-in to that
Lion's whelp from the
will be, Kim Jean said it today, his favorite verse 10:4 breaker breaker. Maybe one of his favorite characters, or just something favorite. Was it a short? Gospel, no, 70. Was it live? There you go. Here we go. Live camp meeting in Arkansas.
Yeah, you're live. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Robert Breaker, and I am in Arkansas, and I am here at Morning Star Bible Baptist Church. A lot of people.
Morning Star, Christopher Green Way, Morning Star Boardwalk, Nibbles Woodaway. Get in the boat, get out of the boat, get in the ark. Camp meeting, join us 17th through 22nd, so 18th through 21. Camping's World, October 21st is when Camping's World happened with Jonathan Click, who literally said that.
The short video clip was made today, October 20th, 2020, after the Lord told me to drive to Camping World.
So drive the Camping World because I have something to show you.
burns the chariot in fire. Be still and know that I am God.
I think that's what Jonathan Clegg was trying to tell me.
This morning because he had something to show me. Camping. This came the day after. Oh, this came the day after I told the general public you.
And then, just to tie in something that happened on the same. I'm going to have to get rid of some of these. All right, let me get rid of this. It's lagging. Obama, he thanked me. Got that. Harold Camping's World. Home Depot, that was October 21st. So I'm just showing you the significance of that date. So far, three mentions of it, but 2 events that happened with me personally where I got the shout out, Robin, Shiloh at Robin Lane.
Tornado, pretty clearly. I don't think we need to say may have. A tornado hit northeast Dallas. Damage to some Garland neighborhoods as well. This is near Shiloh Road, north of LBJ Freeway. There are trees down, many homes with roof damage. Garland.
So I got the shout out Robin on that video. And then the next year, I got my actual name with Baskin Robbins was his first job. He gave the shout out for the last name, and he even said what our last name is.
The government, actions that affect your lives. And then he cut the event short. I want to thank Mr. Philadelphia what our last name is.
It's just a different way of gathering information. I know how the serpent language is. I understand it. And I understand how Satan works too, where he tries to tell me how stupid it sounds when I'm going to say these things out loud as if the President of the United States would actually give me a shout out, or Jonathan Clegg even knows who I am or whatever. Well, he does. He did. And yeah, it's the truth. This is what's happening. It's going to make itself manifest. Coming up, watch Philadelphia. But it takes time for me to suffer for a long time. And then when it finally takes place, it's like, oh man, thank God. And then I'll start to enjoy my life for the first time in a retirement mode. But in the meantime, considering it's the same date, everything, well, 4 days later I made the video. It's a shout out. It's my name. Barack Obama is talking about it. My name. Jonathan Clegg is telling you at the very end that
it's a big V.
I'm just getting started. I'm just giving you a little teaser right now.
A little teaser right now on October 21st, 2020. All right. 2 times with me personally, something very significant happened, and then third time's a charm. Is it going to be this year? Is it going to be October 21st, 2023? When what I've been showing everybody on the back of a $50 bill, when you fold it up a certain way, that it becomes the bombing, smoke explosion, 555. And then from that point on, the other folder, it's long rectangular green windows, Chase Bank, chasing the money. Back of $50 bill, same thing. It's long. It's rounded, so you got the rounded edge, and you got this spear right here going across. with long rectangular green money green windows. Here you got the rounded edge. You got the spear right here. Oh, that wasn't a good line. The spear right here to match that, to come down. And then sort of blends in here and there and then down. Sort of just blends in here, there, and then down. Going down, and then it's like a mirror image. There's long rectangular money green windows, and then the smoke is coming up from here. So it would start somewhere around here. No, somewhere around here. Somewhere right around here. That would be the smoke pluming up, and then it goes all the way down here to the square cutout. That square cutout, if you look on the map, go over to Jacob's Ladder. So here's Jacob's Ladder. Here's 69 holes. That's where the water rose up out of nowhere for the first time all year on 7/8/2020, because John truly does baptize with water. And then on October 21st, 2020, the water stood still right there. Here's the building itself with the money green windows. On the building, it's Penn Center Building 8. However, it has 3 different 8s on the building, 1 in the front and 2 on a corner. So that's 3 8s. Forgot why I zoomed into the Google Maps anyway, but 914 is my number. 888. Seal of God on their foreheads. Lord Christ's second coming. Terrorist strike. Jonathan Click. Jonathan Click is the one that shows how to fold the money on U.S. currency, because there it is. There's the exact bombing explosion at 17th JFK. In my view, I mean, look at it. It's like identical. There's Jonathan Kleck's fingernail. And he's going to show you the bombing. Why I flipped. He's showing you on a $20 bill with the Oklahoma City bombing. But I'm showing, because it has a rounded corner and then long rectangular windows, but yet they're sideways. However, when you flip the $50 bill up, it gets you, when you flip it sideways, instead of leaving it up, turn it sideways, there's your image. Rounded, long, money green, rectangular windows at the same spot. So he's showing you that federal building bombings on the back of a $20 bill. And what he's showing you here is that this is the 9/11 The first 2 Twin Towers are printed on that U.S. currency, the 20, but the 50 is now the Oklahoma City bombing similarity at 17th JFK. And then, considering the Twin Towers are printed with the same exact smoke that you're seeing over here, it's coming off of this building here and the towers itself. But then when you go and flip those $20 bills upside down, it turns into pyramids. And in Philadelphia, there's the pyramids. Christ proclaimed liberty to the captives. But I think before he did that, I think something happened where he was able to get a bunch of people's attention, read Isaiah 61, let them know that he came to proclaim liberty to the captives, to free all those. A bunch of people didn't like it. They wanted to throw him off, but they couldn't because there's nothing they can do about it. Doesn't matter what they wanted to do. There's nothing they can do. It just means they were so salty because it's like 10-4 breaker. It's over for your kingdom. You can want to shoot him in the face and hang him on a cross for all you wanted to do. But you couldn't because he read it at the right time to let you know that it's over. Because there's your Twin Towers, pyramids, turn them upside down. Liberty 1, Liberty 2, Twin Towers in Philly. So WW3 event, Will Penn in 2nd 9/11, Philly 17 JFK, 1628 in Liberty 1 and 2, 555. I'm saying that 6 seals, 6 songs, 6 years, 6 months, 6 days since 4/2/2017, my YouTube birth. My YouTube birth. The bombs were dropped on Israel 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days later. And as I just summarize everything, just to drive it home. Now, this is the 7th page. 7 days before I joined the YouTube, or 7 days after I joined YouTube. This was 6 months before I joined YouTube, talking about the similarities that were taking place with Matthew 10:7. When Israel gets hit, when in the Bible, when they get hit, they're going to come after Israel as a storm. Hurricane Matthew is a storm. The kingdom of heaven is at hand 7 years before you've seen the storm of bombs being dropped 7 years prior, coming in like a storm against Israel. And where was Israel's? The bombs being dropped on Israel. Third time's a charm, so you think, high riser, bombs drop. How, like, timing wise, how awesome is that timing? Considering before the YouTube platform, that when I even started, the Word of God is like before the foundations of the world. So the Word of God is what was with me from the beginning. And 6 pages, they were written out to my neighbors, to my boss, to anybody, to my family. I gave it to everybody. And it just so happened to be exactly 7 years later. And then coming in like a storm, Israel gets hit with the bombs. And then 666 itself, the number of man, or the number of beast for is the number of man, 666. I don't know why people are afraid of that number. But from my YouTube career, April 2nd, from the beginning of it, that's when the bombs are dropped. So that's a tie-in right there with me, with my Mustang being a government-issued license plate, GSS 9666. So I couldn't even get away from that either. And then this time that I'm writing here is an exact 7-year period, and it happened on October 7th, 10/7. All right, now, so in 2 days, this is what's leading up to why I'm even doing this video. Not that I truly know anything's going to happen, but if it does, then I want you to know why it's happening. Because, well, second time's a dime, even in this here. Going into the art museum, footage lining up. And then third time's the charm. So I'm done with this. Done with that. The shout out Barack Obama gave me. Standing alone. With the similarities matching up again. And so third time's a charm. Part 1, time 2, ring the bell, 226, Philadelphia Art Museum. The third time was more about my memory, to see what I can remember, how to go wherever when I'm playing a recording, to see if I can line it up again. This is Mary, pregnant, with the moon under her feet. Stepping on a dragon's neck. I've always looked at Lucifer as the moon because he's just a reflection of the sun. The sun is of God. The moon is just a reflection of the light. So the woman having the moon under her feet which would be Bono, being which one? I don't know I don't know what's going on at the top of her head, but she definitely has something in her hand, and she is stomping the dragon out. The footage over there is 30 plus years old. This footage is 7 months old. That footage is not even a week old. What's with the blue light? I don't even have a light on. The blue light is following me even in my second video. the woman taken in adultery. So she was taken. Taken. What, like kidnapped? So first time I've turned Jesus upright so he can write many, many tekel on the wall. And then Bono flipped. But this time around, my phone stood him up completely. Then he flipped. Now he's upside down like a spider. He's right side up. All right, so back to the images, the second 9/11 in Philly. Why I think it's the Twin Towers, smoke and mirrors. Look at the points of explosion. Johnny's telling you. And then when you turn those points up, it becomes the pyramids. Twin Towers. Even one of them has the tall needle, like I think the first tower was on the right. So I'm saying that as of October 8th, 2021, World War III event, Will Penn in second 9/11 Philly, 17 JFK, 16/28 Liberty 1 and 2. When they signed the peace treaty, what's next? Peace and safety dance. Well, that may be on 11/11/2023. After October 21st, Harold Camping's World comes up. So obviously this is the target. It's on the back of a $50 bill. I think the best chance of Hamas making a terrorist attack would be on Harold Camping's World, October 21st, 2023. And then 19 days later is 11/9. That's 9/11 backwards. That could be the final blow in Philly after 19 days. And then there's a 21-day holdup. Daniel stays there with the kings of Persia and Media. And then after 21 days, he appears, and it's like 11/11. And then RocKEY runs, because RocKEY Run is supposed to happen on 11/11, 2023, right down where the art museum, Philadelphia Art Museum is. So far, I'm looking at that as Iran, as partnership with Russia headquarters at Cesspool, because the Russian headquarters was bombed at Cesspool. I'm looking at it as Hamas, because the Israeli flag is all the way down by the William Penn building, which means if you're at the top where the serpent is, the pharaoh, the serpent is up at the top as Hamas, because they're accusing Israel, just like Satan is the accuser of his brethren, like Stephen James will always accuse me. Hamas, Haman, not a good dude. Haman, Hamas, House of Ham. I was called the House of Ham as if I'm some evil character, but I was just being lied about. So all those names tie into me, but again, I don't know if that's if that's how it is tied together, but it sounds like it is. And the idea is to try to wipe Israel off the map, because Israel is down there at the map. There's your Twin Towers. So I would say that this is like the Gaza Strip. All nations are lined up, all the flags. Garden of Eden in the dead center. And then Israel being the very first flag. However, the crater that hit the ground, that hit over here, right here, it hit right in front of the U2 sign and the Israeli flag, right across the street from Capricorn, where the Moses type figure is hanging out. And that was, you find the Holy One of Israel. That was right there, is where the hole is. Right there. So it was originally a curbside agreement that Steve Bannon was talking about. That's why I went down there through the X app, and then I seen that. Because I was talking to him through that app, or through that day right there, that video. I was showing the Israeli flag. The crater. No signs of Sudan peace, sudden peace, not yet. U2, there it is. And I just so happened to get, I guess I hit my head somewhere, so I had like this red mark. And with the red mark on my forehead, it also looked like the tornado symbol. How it kind of goes in both directions. Also as a rabbit. And that was April 25th, the X Facts. Steve Bannon led me down that direction to photograph the Holy One of Israel. So I would stand there, I would show you the hole that was in the ground, right in front of the Israeli flag. And Bono needs to surrender, because there's 8 songs in Art Museum. And that reminds me of the Petco 2 hole, which is the holy place. Catch the very first scene in Petco when it comes out, the knob. Planet X scenario. Steve Noon is talking about Planet X scenario, and they link it to Gog of Magog. And I'm recording with the X app, so I'm tying that into the Planet X. Dead Sea Scrolls. So today's October 19th, 2023, 9:56 p.m. I'll be looking out. Obviously, if nothing happens, nothing happens. But if something does, I'll hear it. I'll hear about it. So let's see. Is it the third time? Is it going to be a charm? Is something really going to happen there in Philly at 17th and JFK finally? Because even when I type in 17th and JFK, I got 80 different Man Behind the Mask, World Event, Penn Center, second 9/11, back on 9/2/2020, Chase Bank, 17th JFK, it was 9/5, Eclipse, 17th, meteorite to hit Chase Bank, 17th JFK. This was back on 9/27/2022. So I'd already said this last year. Meteorite to hit Chase Bank, 17th JFK, Philly, on October 21st. I'm pushing for the 2022, the third floor, 5:55 a.m., 40 days to repent, because that would give you, from October 21st, 2020 to 11/11, gives 21 days of Daniel. 40 days to repent. What would that bring in? Like 12? Like 12 or something. Beginning of December. So I'm already looking at it back then, a year ago. Chase Bank. Let's see how far back can I go. 2021, history of 8/48, 17th JFK. Obama-less pit. 10/23, second 9/11 Philly. 11/9/2020, Liberty 1, Liberty 2. So if it doesn't happen on October 21st, I always look to 11/9 to be the opposite of 9/11. So I'm saying 2 years ago, second 9/11 to Philly, 11/9/2020. So 3 years ago, I'm already pinpointing Liberty 1, Liberty 2, whether it's rockets, stars, holograms with bombs. 17th JFK, it's all about the Twin Towers. Second 9/11 happened in Philly to give us a little bit of strength. On the 9th of Av, when Titus and, Nebuchadnezzar, November 9th, which is the mirror image 9/11, COVID-19, 7,000 days exactly between both. Maybe 7,000, maybe plus another 1,000. So there it is. That's all in my mind. Let's see what happens this time. We're going to go all the way down. Even as of 3/2/2020, second 9/11, second 17th JFK, April 7th, 2020. #17th JFK, as of 9/3/2019. I'm saying that. Second 9/11 happens 8/48. 8:49. We'll see.